Yeah, trendsetter, whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit it dead center, hit it dead center. Bullseye, hit it the most, there's no misses. Something like fish in a barrel, it's no different. Blindfold on me, I still got the most vision. Trendsetter.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Carnivore Evolution. I'm one of your hosts, Victoria Olson. We also have Lisa Moss and Mark Ennis with us today, and our guest is Kristeva Dowling. Kristeva is an author, a researcher, a former homesteader with a passion about food sovereignty, ancestral health, and regenerative living. She has published a book called Chicken Poop for the Soul about self-sufficient living in British Columbia and her food journey. We're very happy and pleased to have Kristeva with us today. Hello, Kristeva. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thanks, Victoria. Thank you folks for having me on. I'm quite excited about this.
It's our pleasure. Yes, thank you. We'd like to hear about your carnivore journey in particular, and if you would give us a little background, a little history to how you started to get into the carnivore lifestyle.
Okay. Well, I ended up I got food poisoning in 2015, and I didn't know that when you got food poisoning, once you were over the sickness, that you could actually have a parasite. I just thought once you were over the sickness that you were good. But I ended up contracting Blastocystis hominis, which is a microscopic parasite. And that led to a cascade of issues. I ended up with IBS, 60 pounds of weight gain, SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, and what the doctors called rosacea. And my doctor said to me, like, I went in this with, like, I had it looked like awful acne all over my face. Started out slowly, like a little bit, and then it got worse and worse and worse. And, I did all the things like that the doctor said, oh, it's just rosacea, it's incurable, you have to find your food triggers, blah, blah.
Oh.
So, I quit everything. I quit coffee, I quit dairy, I quit eggs, I quit all chocolate, all of the stuff. And anyway, that went on for 7 years. And finally, I was looking up SIBO, and then because I sort of diagnosed myself, I thought I have SIBO, I can tell I have SIBO. And I went back to the doctor. I think I have SIBO. She didn't know what it was. And I thought, oh my goodness, like they've been studying that since 1977. How is it that you don't know what SIBO is yet? Anyway, I have a master's degree in social anthropology. So I started, I know how to do research. I've taken physiology courses at university and stuff. So I started doing a deep dive myself, and eventually landed on a podcast with Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. Sean O'Mara. And it was kind of a penny drop moment. Like it was a mic drop moment. The things that they were both talking about were so far from anything that I had understood about nutrition prior to that. We get raised with eat vegetables are good, eat lots of fruit, the grains, etc. And I'd already known that if I ate as much grains as the Canadian food guide told me, I'd weigh 300 pounds by the end of the year. So when I heard them say what they were saying about carnivore and a ketogenic diet, I just thought that makes sense. So that's how I started. And then, of course, I've done a massive deep dive into basically everything that those two and other doctors and medical research in the carnivore space have put out. I mean, I've probably listened to literally thousands of hours of those kinds of podcasts.
Wow. That's quite an entry. I'm a little bit curious. How did they get rid of your parasite?
So I went out of frustration. I went to my doctor, and she sent me to two specialists. She sent me to a skin specialist who also agreed it was just rosacea. And so he gave me a topical metrodiazonal, I think it was called.
Yeah.
And I knew at the time, I thought, this is not going to do it. Like, this has to be related to gut, because I noticed that when I ate certain things, it would flare really badly. And anyway, so I said to the dermatologist, I said, "Are you sure it's not linked to my gut?" "Oh, no, just put this cream on." Okay. So I tried it for a month and I'm like, okay, this is not working. And I went back to the doctor and I said, it's got to be related to gut. "Oh, no, don't think so. Just got to find your triggers. Like you shouldn't eat hot food and don't eat peppers and don't drink alcohol." And I'm like, okay. I'm a commercial mead maker. Like making alcohol is my life. I have to actually taste it and so forth. So then she sent me to an allergy specialist. And I had all the blood tests and the skin pricks. And it was funny because while I was there, I was like, "Please don't be allergic to dairy. Please don't be allergic to dairy. Take mushrooms, take bacon. I don't want to be allergic to dairy. I'll give you my firstborn if I don't have to have, I don't have to put dairy." So anyway, according to the allergist, I wasn't allergic to any foods whatsoever. I was allergic to things like dandelion pollen and tree pollen and stuff like that. But so that didn't get me anywhere really. And then I finally contacted a naturopath and I sent the pictures that I sent you and I said, "Look, I'm desperate. I'm actually scared to eat. I'm, embarrassed to go out." It was not only visually, horrible, but it was painful. And anyway, so she actually fit me in and then we started. And she helped me a lot. Like those first pictures where I'm super inflamed that I sent you, she helped me. When you see the picture, you can see I've got makeup on, but a lot of the acne stuff has gone away. So she helped a lot, and I think her protocol helped get rid of the parasite.
Okay.
But it didn't totally cure the SIBO or the IBS. And what ended up happening, like she put me on these 3 phases. We only got to phase 2 and I started going backwards. And what I realized, sadly, and what she didn't know was inside the pills and the supplements that she was giving me to cure this was an additive called maltodextrin.
Oh no,
Really?
making it worse.
And
Yes.
I discovered that I was super reactive to maltodextrin on my own.
Gosh.
Out of desperation to cure whatever was going on with my face, I actually started fasting and I did a 5-day water fast. And I did colonics and my face started clearing up. And on day 5, when I, started eating, what I took was, it was an organic chicken broth, but it was from the store, like a cube thing. And it's organic. Of course it's going to be safe, etc. And one sip and my face started flaring again. And I went over to the box. I'm like, what in the heck is in this? And it's organic chicken, organic parsley, organic this, that, and the other thing. And the last word was maltodextrin.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
And I thought, what on earth is it? So deep dive into that. And I'm sure what it was doing was feeding the bacteria or the parasites.
Yeah.
Because instantly it's like they were on steroids. And what I learned about maltodextrin is it has twice the glycemic index of table sugar.
Yes. Yeah. It's powerful stuff. And it's hidden in flavorings.
Really, yes.
They don't list it. Anything that says natural flavorings will have maltodextrin as the carrier.
Yeah.
It's the vehicle to get them in there.
And in supplements.
Yeah, it's unbelievably powerful. Yeah.
Like
you
what
see
on earth is it doing in a supplement?
Yeah, you see it. You see it in the bodybuilding world. Everybody's having these maltodextrins during their workouts. It's unbelievable how sweet this stuff is. It's unbelievably powerful, and you can get them in energy drinks as well. You can get them in like sweets. You can get them in the vapes now. What kids are using these days. It's madness.
Well, I think one of the criminal things is they're using it for diabetic friendly foods, and for goodness sakes, it's got a higher glycemic index than sugar. Like, how does that make sense?
Yes, it's
doesn't
like
make any sense at all.
corn syrup's evil twin brother.
Yeah.
Criminal, absolute criminal.
Makes sense.
Truly.
And I mean, everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of the people in the carnivore community, like they drink those electrolytes, the elements, and there was a big thing back then about the malted. I stopped actually. Mark when I started with Mark a while back, he's like, "Oh, cut out the electrolytes," and I feel so much better since I did. And
Yeah, I don't take them.
I didn't even realize that, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
It's
See,
scary.
a lot of people go on about electrolytes, but it depends on how much food you're eating. If you're eating if you're eating a lot of food on the carnivore diet, you don't actually need electrolytes. You
No.
actually need electrolytes the leaner you get when you get leaner. You don't
Yeah.
need electrolytes when you're
And
eating a lot of food.
I found that out.
Mhm.
No,
right?
because we still have a lot of fat that has nutrition in it that
Mm.
that your body's using up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
No, I know. I saw that on the elements too. I actually contacted them and said, I said, and I sent my pictures. I'm like, this is how that product affects me. Like,
Wow,
you
good
need
for
to
you.
say that on
Good.
your webpage that it contains this, because there's a lot.
think
I
they
can't be the
have.
only one who's reacting this way.
I think they have mentioned that, and they said it. Well, it's such a negligible amount; it shouldn't impact you. Well, baloney.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And isn't it amazing when we have all these issues? It all starts with the gut, and it's like, okay, well, I have these
Yes.
issues. I'm struggling here, and nobody believes
Yeah.
you. Nobody believes you. It's like, okay, you'll get over it. You're one of those people. You'll get over it. There's nothing wrong with you, and you know fully well, like, oh, hang on a second. I'm doing it. I'm doing everything you guys are telling me what to do. I'm eating the fiber. I'm eating the vegetables. I'm taking my medication. I'm taking my supplements, and they still don't believe it.
No. Well, I mean, seriously, how much would have been in one of those little chicken bouillon cubes? It would have been a negligible amount. And look at how I reacted. It was terrible.
Exactly.
Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much.
And the horrifying thing was, it would, like, when I had maltodextrin, whenever I had it in something, and it's in everything. Like, once you realize that that's what it is and you're trying to cut it out, it's in everything. And things that you would never think of. So anyway, I'd keep having these reactions, and it's not just like, it was horrible that the face broke out, but what it did to my guts, it would last 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, that long?
Yes.
Oh, that's awful.
Yes.
Gosh.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It was. Yeah.
And like you said, the only way you're gonna pretty much starve the bacteria out of your gut pretty much is going on carnivore. There's no other diet that's going to do it for you. Nope. You know what I mean? No other diet out there is going to reset your gut better than the carnivore diet. Even keto, we had a lady on our podcast last night, and she's been doing she did keto for years, and she always had these gut issues, and she could never understand why. She was convinced she was eating healthy, but it wasn't until she eliminated all the plants. It was like, okay, now I've reset my gut. Everything's perfect now.
Carnivore made the difference for me. It took away so many ailments. 3 years of strict keto, I mean, we were under 20 carbs a day, did not impact because I was still eating the vegetables.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know about you folks, but what I've noticed is that since becoming carnivore, and I mean, I do a lot of dinner parties and stuff because I'm a commercial meat maker. So whenever we do bottling days, we have a big crew of people that come and help bottle the meat. And then I cook up a storm and we sort of feast together and stuff. And then for myself, I try and stay ketovore. So I do make like a Caesar salad or stuff like that. And I notice now that I've done strict carnivore, that even like cheating keto, and my guts don't feel good. Believe me, I love my Caesar salad or fettuccine or whatever. I love the crunch. I kind of miss the crunch in carnivore, but boy, oh boy, my gut does. And then I think to myself, when something that small is affecting me that much, what on earth is it doing to the average person that's eating hamburgers with the bun and the fries and the large Coke, or that is eating that way, the standard American diet, all of the time?
But see, that's the problem. People are used to eating these food, because I've done this in the past myself. I've experimented. I've experimented many times the foods that I used to eat, and it's not until you get deeply adapted into this you really notice the power of these foods. It's like, wow. 100%. It's like within an hour, you're like, oh my God, I can actually feel this. Whereas before, because I was so used to eating these foods on a daily basis, my body was able to tolerate them. But now, because you've done this cleanse, you've cleaned your body the right way, it's like the minute you add in any sort of toxin or any kind of plant or anything like that, it just hits you straight away. It's like, oh my God, now I understand how powerful these foods are.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
ironically, so one of the other things that really helped me, I think, kick the SIBO was, have you heard of, what's his name? Dr. William Davis?
Yes, I have.
Yes. The brain
Yes,
guy.
the grain
the
brain
yogurt guy.
and the SIBO yogurt.
Mhm.
So once I found him, I read his book, I made the SIBO yogurt, and that really was a game changer for me. I was going strict keto, plus added in his yogurt, and that helped. But I quit the yogurt, like after I got cured, I quit the yogurt. And the other day, I don't know, about a week and a half ago, I thought, oh, I might make some of his yogurt and help, recolonize my gut. Well, didn't I bloat right up? Like, it's like I can't have that anymore. It helped my journey, but I think I think despite the allergy specialist that claims that I'm not, I don't react to dairy, I think I actually do react to dairy.
Oh dear.
So you've eliminated dairy altogether. You're not eating any dairy anymore.
No. That's quitting dairy is my Everest. But like having brought that SIBO or the SIBO yogurt back in, it's like, oh,
I know.
Dang.
That's the biggest factor.
It's so hard to give up.
That's the biggest factor.
Cheese. Yeah, no, I still have cheese, and I have a bit of like heavy cream in my coffee and stuff. But I do know, like, I feel like I have stalled with the weight loss, and I'm sure that the dairy's got to go. That's going to be the thing that I really have to get rid of in order to get the next 20.
It's honestly, it's the biggest thing I see with women.
Yeah.
I honestly, everybody keeps telling me that carnivore is healthy, and it is healthy. It's an amazing diet, it's an amazing lifestyle. But when women are looking to lose weight, the biggest factor I always see is like the dairy. And all you do is just eliminate the dairy, and the weight just comes off.
Yeah.
So much easier.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's
unbelievable.
I need you to come here, Mark, and like slap the cream out of my hand every morning when I'm making my coffee.
Don't encourage him.
I know.
He'll be right there.
If I had my way, I'd eat dairy every day. Trust me. But it just it absolutely ruins me. I remember I went out to a restaurant there about a year ago, and I said, I'm fine. I've been doing this for over 3 years. I'm pretty sure I can get away with it. I only had a tiny piece, and I mean a tiny piece. The next day, I had an unbelievable 7-hour migraine.
Really?
It destroyed me. Absolutely. I was in bed and I couldn't even get up. My energy was just gone. Gone.
Really? That's surprising.
And that's
awful.
Just cheese, or?
No, I just had a little bit of butter on my steak, just a tiny piece. That's all I had.
Butter. That's it.
Yeah, and this was around 8:00 at night time. I slept really, really well, but the next day it just hit me. I was like, oh my God, I've got this massive migraine, and I knew exactly what it was because prior to that, I was doing everything right. I was having the beef tallow, the red meat. Everything in my diet was perfect. I never had any issues for 3 years. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna experiment and let's see what happens. Oh my God.
And it really had nothing to do with the big glass of Malbec you had with the steak?
Maybe so. Oh boy, I was in bits the next day. In bits. I said, no, I'm not doing that again. Definitely not doing that again. It's not worth it.
No. Yeah, because I gave up dairy and I lost like 10 pounds? Just
Wow.
Yeah. So
and it doesn't take much.
Yeah, and I'm actually working with a lady at the moment, and she's been on carnivore for over 6 months, and she was absolutely convinced that she was eating healthy. She was going to lose the weight very, very quickly, and she was eating a high-fat diet. She could not lose the weight at all. She was actually gaining weight.
Yeah.
And she reached out to me a couple of months ago, and I said, just eliminate the dairy. Let's just see what happens. Within a day, she was down 5 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
All that inflammation was gone. She was losing water retention very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Incredible.
It's the proteins in dairy, the casein in the whey, they're the accelerators for growth in infant cattle. And I think it's true for sheep and goat too. They also have those proteins in there, unfortunately. There's no way around it for me.
Not as high, but they
Not
do.
as high, yeah, but they're present. And Mark's sensitive to butter, but I can have butter, I think, and not gain weight. But there have been times when I've clarified the butter just to have it that way. But it changes the texture of it, so it's not quite the same thing. So.
Texture
No,
and flavor.
I'd love to give raw dairy a go. I'm pretty sure I don't know if I'd be out, but I'd love to give it a go.
I've tried it. I was on it for 8 months. I made clotted cream and creme fraiche and yogurt from it, and it still impacted me. And when I
Really?
quit that, when I quit that, I lost the arthritis pain in my back, and my lichen sclerosis cleared up. It took a month, and it was gone as certified by my doctor, and I started to lose weight. So even raw and that what is it, the A type dairy? There's
A2.
this thank you, A2. I tried that too, and that no, same thing. I would gain weight and have irritation, inflammation.
Well, that
So
raw
Kristeva,
dairy is so
what's
addicting.
been? Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is. Can I just ask a question? What's been the feedback now since you've been doing carnivore? What have the doctors been saying now?
Well, my doctor doesn't know. So the doctor that I had before that I went to and said, I've got all these problems, and she said, go away. She actually left, and so I have a different doctor. And I'm just kind of baby stepping him towards, I'm going to tell him, because I'd actually I'd like to find a doctor that really is going to work with me. I'm also working, I've got myself my ketogenic diet coach and carnivore diet coaching certifications. And I'd really like to find a doctor that can help people I'm interested in the metabolic health. So like fatty liver, we know that probably 98% of people walking around have fatty liver disease. And it would be really nice to work with somebody that is willing to make that change. So I actually went in last week because I know I have fatty liver, or at least I did a year ago. And so I said to him, look, I rented an MRI machine, or not MRI, what is it called? Ultrasound machine. And one of my friends is an ultrasound tech. And so he was showing me how to use it and stuff. And he said, I've got fatty liver and I have 3 cysts on my liver. So I said to my doctor, I'd really like to get that official. Like, I want you to know that. It's one thing for me to know it with this little handheld machine unofficially. But I thought, if I can get that recorded and then really work to change my fatty liver and show him that it's reversible, because many doctors don't know this. They don't think any of these things are reversible. Then maybe he'll start working with me, and then I can tell him how I did it and so forth. So that's what I'm working on right now. Yeah,
that would be amazing. Yeah, it'd be amazing. It'd be amazing if all the doctors did that, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
Because I actually had this conversation with a doctor about a year and a half ago. I actually just spoke to him about cholesterol. We were just having a conversation, and the word cholesterol came up. And then I turned around and he said to me, like, there's good and bad cholesterol. And the minute he said that, I was like, okay, we're in serious trouble. Okay, if these people don't even know what cholesterol is, I'm like, oh my God, we have no hope.
Well, again, they're not taught.
No.
Yeah.
They're not taught. They're taught those mantras, just like you and I were taught those mantras. Oh, bad cholesterol. And they don't, why would they think to look further when that's part of their medical education?
Yeah, that's their final answer. They don't need any more information as far as they're concerned.
But see, we did an interview with Dave. You did an interview with Dave a few months ago, Victoria, and he mentioned that there's people in the medical field, they're not allowed to speak about this. They're not allowed to speak.
I know that too. Yeah. I've been told that by doctors. They can't go against
I was told
the
this
grain
as well.
because
they were told, like, listen,
and big
I'll
pharma
lose
both
my job.
pressure them.
Yeah. It's
they're
I was told this as well.
There's actually a Canadian doctor, I can't remember her name, but she's basically been persecuted for that. Also, is it Tim Noakes in South Africa? Yes. He was hauled over the coals and taken.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, they nearly crucified him. He was really taken to task for it. Now, you might try a naturopath because we heard a story the other day of a carnivore woman whose naturopaths, they were husband wife team, put her on the carnivore diet.
Wow.
So you might look into that because they are medical practitioners.
They are,
They
but
certainly
they're
help them.
very much educated in the vegetables, fruit, etc.
Unfortunately, yeah, I was surprised to hear that, but that's what happened to her, and she's in New Brunswick, so she's in
Well,
Canada.
she's lucky that she's found somebody
Yeah.
who's more open-minded.
Mm-hmm.
But so I want to tell another little part of my story, and which really blew me away, and it was something that, so I was focusing on curing the SIBO and getting rid of the Blastocystis hominis, like the parasite and stuff. And for the last 13 years, it was 2011 that, against my better judgment, my friends and aunt talked me into going and getting my first mammogram. And again, I'd done a lot of research when I was doing my master's degree, and I knew how many false positives were in mammograms and so forth. So I never wanted to go do it. Anyway, peer pressure. and that fear mongering, I finally went, and well, didn't they find suspicious lumps on my breasts? And it was kind of scary because my grandmother died of a very rare form of breast, bladder, and ovarian cancer. And it's so rare they're studying at UBC. And I'm actually the last and only straight descendant of the female line. So UBC Research Center got in touch with me probably 15 years ago and asked if I wanted to know, like if I wanted to be tested for the gene and so forth. And I refused. I said, no, like in nature, I wouldn't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to put that into my mind. Like if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So anyway, I went and had this mammogram in 2011. They found the lumps, and that kicked off this whole cascade of, then I had to have an ultrasound, then I had to have a punch biopsy, then I had to have an MRI, and that sort of cycle. They wanted me to come in every 6 months. And then eventually I did it for a few times, and I thought, no, that's it. I'm not doing it. I don't care. I'm not going anymore. Like, it's too stressful. And let me tell you, if you've never had an MRI of your breasts, it's god awful. Like laying in the Superman position face down, and that tiny, like it's hell on earth. The man who designed that, obviously it was a man, has never laid in that contraption for an hour. So anyway, fast forward, I quit going, and then last February, again, I kind of caved to peer pressure. And I went, and yes, they still had, they're still there, blah, blah, did a few more tests. And then on May 15th of last year, I quit. So that's 2024. May 15th, I quit sugar. And by mid-August, May, June, July, so 3 months later, I went full carnivore. And then I went back for the follow-up in November. And the woman was like, she's all over my breast doing the ultrasound. And I was laying there thinking, I don't think she can find anything. Mm-hmm. And I thought, or she hasn't read like where she's supposed to be looking, because I'm thinking like, why is she way over there when I know it was up here? And then I finally said to her, like, are you struggling to find it? And she said, yes. Do you remember where it was? And I said, yeah, it was, it was in this area. And I said, but you might want to read the report just to make sure. Anyway, I got a full clean report. They can't find it.
That's
100% gone.
That's goosebumps.
That's amazing.
Wonderful.
Years.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Yes. It's great. I went through the same thing. 20 years I had fibroids in my breast, and I used to have a mammo and then an ultrasound to make sure they weren't cancerous. By my second, I think it was the second year of carnivore, they were gone. Nothing there. And they're looking at me when I'm asking, do you see any fibroids? I go, no, there's nothing there. They're gone, dissipated, and still to this day, no more.
Yeah.
Incredible.
4 years later.
Amazing.
Okay.
What other evidence do you want?
It's really.
What other evidence do you want?
Yeah. No kidding.
Incredible
And
story.
that's what
Incredible.
for me. So like May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months. Not even
amazing.
5.5 months.
That's wonderful. Amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how long are you carnivore now? Is it over a year, 2 years?
It's about exactly a year.
Amazing.
And I should say I'm super strict carnivore because I'm still doing the dairy, and every now and then I'm still having the salads. But I'm actually doing strict carnivore right now, and I'm giving up dairy after today because I've still got some cream in the fridge.
I feel your pain.
I know. And I'm having a group birthday party on the 18th of October. So I'm going to do strict carnivore until the 18th and then have my party, and then I'll go back to it again. Just because, like I say, Mark, every time I cheat, and even just like a little salad or anything like that, and the bloat, the awful feeling, it's not worth it.
No.
It's so not worth it.
Yes.
Can I just ask,
absolutely.
was it an easy transition going from the standard diet into the carnivore diet, or did you have to go down the keto route first? Like, talk me through the transition.
Well, the transition really was last year when I first. So one of seeing that that video with Dr. Ken Berry and Sean O'Mara, and they were talking about the visceral fat.
Yeah.
And when Sean O'Mara showed the differences in the MRIs, the visceral fat in like very short amount of times, that was really the mic drop moment. And that was like literally that day I quit sugar.
Yeah.
And then my whole mental focus was visceral fat. And
it's amazing, isn't it? Because everybody's convinced that when you look at somebody and you see them, they're skinny, they have the muscles, they look healthy, but you have no idea what's going on the inside. You have no idea. I always say this to people as well.
That video explained 100% without a doubt why skinny marathon runners drop dead of heart attacks.
I know.
They're full of visceral fat.
Yeah, I watched it myself, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is what people need to. People need to see this, because this actually set alarm bells in my head as well. As like, oh my God, why haven't I not been taught this? Because I was taught this in nutrition school a long time ago. That you just need to get people in shape, but we were never taught anything about visceral fat. Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing was ever mentioned. And when you think about like what you mentioned, fatty liver disease, type 2 diabetes, all these diseases are going on in the world. It goes on from the inside. We cannot see this. See this.
So the friend of mine who is an ultrasound tech, like when I learned that, I showed it to him, and he says, "Oh yeah, I see fatty liver and visceral fat all the time." And I said, "Do you report it?" And he said, "No." He said they don't. And the who is it? The radiologists don't either. So they're not actually warning people, even though they see fatty liver. So now my friend, since seeing that, he starts reporting it.
Wow.
So he's at least making the change, but he doesn't diagnose, right? He's not legally allowed to diagnose, but he at least now is writing it on his report and then giving it over to the.
In that report, the doctor will see
it. But the radiologists are not. Sorry.
Yeah, I said if it's in his report, a doctor will see it. Yeah,
but whether or not the doctor then reports it to the client, to the patient, and that's where I feel super passionate now. It's like I want to help people reduce their visceral fat, change their fatty liver, like work with the metabolic health. To hell with gaining weight, losing weight, and all that sort of stuff. That's a side effect that will come as your body gets healthier. But the way that O'Mara is researching the visceral fat and that it's a whole inflammatory separate organ. Nobody talks about that.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
This is what. Sorry, they do know about belly fat.
No,
they do. Conventional medicine knows about belly fat, but they don't really emphasize it at all. They just think, "Oh, you'll get rid of that when you lose weight."
Fat. They do know about belly fat, and I mean, even I knew the phrase belly fat, but I thought that was like the fat on my belly.
Exactly. Yeah.
I didn't understand that visceral fat.
Well, see, there's a difference. They're not talking about insulin resistance, because this is what I see all the time with people. Like they're convinced they're doing everything right. They're eating the standard diet. They're doing the training, and then when they take their top off, they're like, okay, why do I still have this belly? Why am I still struggling to lose this belly?
That's what it's an
insulin resistance problem.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the signal that you have insulin resistance if you have belly fat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's where we're going wrong, because we're all focusing on the wrong problem. We're all convinced that you just need to lose weight to be healthy. But like
Yeah.
Kristeva said, what we should be doing is we should be getting healthy, and then everything else after that will come, no problems.
Yeah.
You'll have no
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
But if you do a
That's how
calorie
it
deficit
works.
diet, you're not going to lose belly fat. You're going to lose muscle
No,
tissue.
and it's
So
but see,
that's
the
the
thing
wrong
is, like
answer.
when you're in a calorie deficit, they're not explaining to you, okay, what is a calorie deficit and what type of food are you going to be eating. Most of the time, okay, they'll give you like protein bars, protein shakes. You're on lean source of protein, high vegetables, fiber, carbohydrates. This is all impacting the gut. This is all going to impact the gut. The gut's going to get inflamed. You're going to feel like crap. You're gonna struggle. You might get in shape, but what's the point in getting in shape if along the way you've developed fatty liver disease, or you're diabetic, or it affects your mental health, or the list goes on and on and on. You have high blood pressure. Surely these are more important than just looking good.
Totally. And here's the thing. I can eat 3 pieces of cheesecake and still be in a calorie deficit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what is that doing to my insulin?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make any sense at
Raising
all.
your blood glucose. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what the system has taught everybody. Because, like I said, I was part of that system. I studied nutrition over 25 years ago. I learned everything about a calorie deficit, getting people. The only thing I was taught was just get people in shape. I was never taught anything about metabolic health. Nothing.
No.
I had to learn this myself. And all those certificates that I got in the past, I paid a fortune for them. I threw them out about 2 years ago. They're gone. They mean jack shit to me now.
Yeah.
They mean,
it gives you some credence and some credibility in order to do, like, it's something you build on now. You've done that, you've learned more, you've learned better, and now you can speak with authority and that knowledge in the background.
But you know, it's frustrating that when you're trying to explain this to people and they think that you're the crazy one.
Oh yeah,
it's like, because I've seen both sides. As I said, I was part of that. I did that for over 20 years. I used to coach this. I used to coach people the low calorie diet, the high fiber, eating in moderation. I did all this. And I've said this many, many times. When people used to get back to me and saying, Mark, I'm looking great, but I don't feel good, I hadn't got a clue. I used to say to these people, go and see a doctor. He'll look after you. I haven't got a clue. I'm struggling with my mental health. Okay, go and see your doctor. That's not my avenue. You need to go and see You need to go and see an expert. I used to say this to everyone, but now I know exactly what the problem is. I'm trying to explain to people what the problem is, and then you have all these fitness people on social media that are telling that I'm the crazy one. And it's like, oh my God.
Well, even medical
you don't
science has it
realize.
wrong.
Yeah, it's
I'm
crazy.
sorry.
That's
I
what
just
I
wanted to say
about.
they call it insulin resistance, and it's not about the insulin, it's about the glucose. So they put the focus on treating you for insulin. They'll give you insulin, they'll try to manage your insulin, they'll give you metformin to manage that insulin. But the point is, it's the glucose in your bloodstream. If they called it an overabundance of glucose, then you would get the message that it's the sugar in the foods that you're eating that's really causing the inflammation and the damage. We had Dr. Malcolm Kendrick on here describe what happens on the epithelium layers of your arteries, how they get destroyed by glucose in your bloodstream. It's not the insulin that's the enemy, it's the glucose. And they need to understand that and say that and pursue that.
Yeah, see, this is what
Robert Kilt.
Sorry, go ahead.
Kilt
Sorry.
speaks about that very well, and he said he talks about that, but he says it's not. How does he put it? It's not. Insulin resistance is not a lack of insulin. It's a too much. Just what you're saying, Victoria. Put the focus where the problem. It's an overabundance of glucose.
Yeah.
So cut off the glucose.
Yeah.
And see, Barkay mentions this as well, that when it comes to diabetes, it's not an insulin resistance issue. Diabetes is diagnosed when you have too much glucose in the blood. That's how it's diagnosed. It's got nothing to do with insulin resistance.
Yeah.
Nothing whatsoever. And we need to understand, where is that glucose coming from? It's coming from an excess amount of carbohydrates. People are absolutely convinced that if I just cut out processed food, then that's going to fix the problem. But it's not. We know that our food has changed in the last 50 years. There's more ingredients, there's more toxins in our food than ever before. So nothing is safe anymore. You need to be questioning all of this. These healthy foods that you're eating at the moment, the sweet potatoes, the rice, don't get me started on the oats. It's crazy.
Well,
It's unbelievable.
combining the carbs with the oils, with the seed oils, is where we get into trouble with the Randall cycle in the body, and that contributes to the issue of glucose in the bloodstream, because that starts to destroy cells. At the cellular level, it's causing damage to combine fat and carbs. So you need to get rid of them. You need to get rid of the carbs.
Yeah. Going back to what you said about your nutrition degree, though, that's where I love the humility of Ken Berry and Sean O'Mara, and I think Noakes as well was overweight and doing the thing, like putting themselves on the diabetic diet. And then ending up, like, I think Ken Berry says that after a month or two, he was 30 pounds heavier, and realizing like, oh my God, this is what I'm telling my patients to do. And it's not working.
Exactly. But you see, the thing is this.
Having the wherewithal to like look for the next thing and search and figure it out and actually learn the physiology of the body and realize, oh, these protocols are actually dangerous.
Yeah, but see, that was me for a long time. But that was me for a very long time. I worked in this game for a very, very long time. I could easily gain weight, lose weight, gain weight, lose weight, no problems. But I couldn't figure out why I'm struggling with my mental health. I couldn't understand why I'm really, really struggling. Like really, really struggling. And I was coaching people at this time, and I was explaining to these people, okay, I can help you with your mental health. But I was like, how can I help these people with their mental health when I'm struggling myself? I should be able to figure this out. And for years I was like, okay, I should be able to figure this out. I'm working in the fitness game. I should be easy to it. It's not just a matter of just going to the gym. It's not working, because I used to go to the gym and I'd be happy. But then the minute I come out of the gym, I'd be like, okay, I'm still getting these negative thoughts. Like, I'm not feeling good here. And I was like, okay. And this went on for years and years and years. And I tried every single diet in the book, everything that you can possibly think. I've done low carb, I've done everything. And I've done keto, and nothing ever worked. Nothing. And I was about to give up on myself. I was like, okay, I can't figure this out. I just can't. Like, if I can't figure this out, then there's no hope for me. And I was in a really, really dark place at one stage. And I was like, okay, no, if I can't figure this out, then I'm going to really, really struggle going forward. I can't keep on coaching this to people, because I'm just being a fraud. I'm teaching people this rubbish. They're losing weight, but they're gaining weight just as easily. I've had people in the past, this is no word of a lie, that worked with me, and out of that, they were diabetic. Out working with me, they were diabetic. And I was like, oh my. Out working with me for a few months, they became diabetic. And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
When I looked,
in the old days. That's frightening.
I had many people coming to me and saying to me, I'm after going to see my doctor, and my doctor's after telling me that I have type 2 diabetes. And that was after working with me.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God. And I bet you any money,
that's frightening.
It's going on in the world at the moment. I guarantee you. They're all going towards these coaches. They're all losing the weight, but I guarantee you they're still struggling with their health. It's just, it's scary. It really is. It's absolutely scary.
Yeah. It's the image thing. Everybody thinks that, skinny is healthy. Like, I mean, I had a family member who, she was going to a health coach and a fitness coach, and I'm like, well, she doesn't really look that fit, but she goes, oh, it's fine, like, she's skinny, so she knows what she's doing. And I'm like, well, not really. Just because you're skinny, it doesn't mean that you're healthy. And this health coach, like, she has to go for iron infusion, like, she's anemic, and because she's so, she don't eat the red meat and the liver and stuff that's high, in iron, but she'll go to the hospital and get it, like, pumped in her veins. And, but she's so, like lean meats, like no, it's like the low fat thing, right? Where they, oh, you know, but she's skinny, but she's not healthy, right? So there's a difference, you know.
Yeah. You know, that was the other thing that I did for September when you're asking me about my trajectory there, Mark. Another piece was I got onto that fella's Coach Raymond, I think he is, and he talks about the priming.
Oh yes,
The priming protocol.
Yeah.
yes. He's with
So
Steak and Butter Gal. Yeah.
Mm.
yes. So I tried that too, because I thought, you know, I've plateaued, let's try something else. And I was listening to other podcasts that spoke about that, and I thought, well, I just really went carnivore. I didn't try any of the priming, and I thought, well, maybe I should try that. And I have gained weight doing it. So in my mind, I think clearly my body's not finished healing.
Yeah.
That it needs a bit more healing first before it will drop the weight.
Yeah,
I mean, in addition, obviously, to
I
too.
mean, Bart Kay speaks an awful lot about this as well, that if you've done over 20 years of damage to your body, then you can expect probably similar amount of healing. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in a year's time. I know for me personally, I've been doing this now nearly 5 years, and I know for a fact that I'm still healing, 100%.
Wow.
I still have a lot more healing to do. Definitely.
Kristeva, could that frame your approach? What advice would you give to someone who's carnivore curious and wants to approach the diet and doesn't know where quite to start? Could you give them some advice?
I would start by getting your baseline labs, and request an abdominal ultrasound so that you can see whether or not you have fatty liver, and your labs will tell you, you know, whether or not you're healthy. And we in the carnivore community know how to look at those differently than, oh my gosh, your LDL cholesterol is high, therefore. So I would start there. And like if I was coaching someone, I would start there, and then I would step them down slowly. Like if you're going from eating a standard American diet, I don't want you to go tomorrow a strict carnivore. You should, you know, let's take you down and taper down the carbs, immediately get rid of seed oils and grains, and then slowly work your way down to it. Because I do think that there's, you know, when you've been eating a certain way, as we all know, your guts get upset when you start changing.
Yeah.
And any animal, you know, when you're feeding your dog, if you change their food, sometimes they get upset stomachs. Like it's just the nature of physiology and our biology. So yeah, I would slowly taper them into it, ask them what kind of foods they actually really do enjoy, get rid of the absolute no-nos like sugar and pops and, you know, the obvious things, and then tweak as we go. But I think starting with baseline labs and the ultrasound on the liver, I think is a really good place to start. Because then you have a baseline. Then we can look at changing things. Are you actually insulin resistant? You know, those sorts of, are you, is your triglyceride HDL ratio high? Those sorts of things. Then we have markers and we can look and go, in 6 months, look what you've changed. You've brought your glucose level down from 11 to 5.6. You're now not in a danger zone, and so on and so forth. I think getting those markers established is really good for people, and it's encouraging when you can see changes, when they can see changes, and it's not just, oh my gosh, my waistline.
100%.
Or the number on the scale.
I want to be respectful of your time. Before I let you go, you have to tell us what you eat on a daily basis.
What do I eat on a daily basis? I eat a lot of steak. So I'm fortunate enough to live in a rural community, and very recently a new butcher has moved to town. We lost the butcher that was here for years, but thankfully a new fella has come to town. And I raise my own chickens and turkey, and I have neighbors who raise a cow. So I buy a cow off one of my neighbors every year, and then now this local butcher butchers it. So I have access to cow. Actually, I have access to yak. The butcher raises yak and bison. So
wow.
Yes. And if you ever have an opportunity to try yak, try it. It's delicious. Possibly next year I'll only get half a cow and then half a yak. So yeah, I eat a lot of ground beef. I find ground beef, yak, lamb, that sort of stuff is super easy. And I have obviously my own eggs, though I'm thinking egg whites are a problem for me. So the dairy and the eggs are two things that I'm struggling to get rid of because I love them both. And eggs is so super easy. So yeah, I eat a lot of eggs. I eat a lot of beef. And I eat more or less nose to tail because I get the whole cow.
Excellent.
And lamb. Lamb's my favorites.
Are you doing 1 meal a day or 2 meals a day?
Usually 2. I like 1 meal a day, but I find I can't eat enough protein in 1 meal. I just don't have a big enough appetite to do it. So I'm switching it. Like I try and get 2 meals in, and I try and get 100 to 120 grams of protein a day. Some days I'm super successful, other days not so much.
Are you measuring stuff at the moment, or are you just eyeballing stuff?
Oh, I just kind of eyeball it. Every now and then I'll throw a piece of meat or like a piece of hamburger on a scale just to kind of roughly see. Or I know that my hamburger's packed in 2-pound packages, so I mostly eyeball. I'm not that obsessive with it.
So you're not counting calories?
God, no. 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 I mean,
Good for you.
That's the thing. The doctor would be horrified because I'm into the 2,000-3,000, some 3,500 calories a day sometimes.
Amazing. And what's your weight?
I love goat butter. Oh my gosh.
You're eating 3,500. You're eating 3,500. What weight are you?
I don't want to say.
No, because I'm just going to say, because there's going to be a lot of women hearing this and they're like, okay, well, she's eating way too many calories. Because this is what I always say to women. I say, you need to eat more. So I always say to women, like, listen, just mention what you are, because a lot of women need to know this, because this is what's going on in the world at the moment. Everybody's is restricting, they're under eating them, they're underfeeding themselves, and we need to move away from this. More women need to say, like, listen, you need to eat more.
Let's put it this way. I've lost 30 pounds doing that.
Amazing.
There you go.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you.
And like I say, I know full well the stall is the dairy, because as soon as I didn't used to, when I was losing it, I was eating less dairy, and then life gets in the way, and you have a cappuccino made with the cream, and it's like, oh God, then I'm doing that because I've bought it, and now I don't want to waste it and all that stuff. But so for me now work is let's get rid of the dairy and let's get the next 20 pounds off, but I will be eating that much.
Well, we definitely want to
I'm probably eating nearly a quarter cup of goat butter every day.
Amazing. Well, you'll definitely have to get back to us now when you do shift that way, so we can get you back on again.
Yeah, I totally will, for sure.
Well, yeah, congratulations on the weight loss. Honestly, it's an amazing achievement.
Well, thank you. Yes.
And your health.
But honestly, the bigger thing is the gut issues, the health, the face, the no more lumps in my breast. Yeah.
Incredible.
The weight is the insignificant part, to be honest.
Exactly, yeah. Well, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure listening to your story. Absolute pleasure. Where can people go to find you?
Modern Stone Age Wellness on Facebook. Stolen Harvest Meadery if you're interested in me as a commercial mead maker. And there's Caitlin Press is who published my book, The Chicken Poop for the Soul, but it's also on Amazon. And if anybody is ever interested in, wanting to touch, Kristeva.Dowling@gmail.com.
Okay.
We'll put all those links.
Right, we'll get that down.
Well, it's been, as I said.
Thank you, Kristeva.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks very much for coming on.
Meetup. We're looking forward to the next meetup at your farm and your acreage, so be prepared for that one.
Oh, I will be. Yeah,
that sounds great.
That would be really
wonderful.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
nice
folks.
to meet you all.
Thank you so much.
Speak
yes.
soon.
Okay. Well, we'll
Bye-bye.
wrap up now.
Bye, guys.
Thank you and goodbye, everyone. Okay. Stick around, Christy. David. Okay.